Hell yeah, that was my reaction. Hell yes. I mean, I was on that first team in 1985, and to have, from day one, the first game, the first practice of the U.S. Women's National Team, and it's taken till today or yesterday till it's equal pay. I'm going home to celebrate. I'm so excited and just thrilled and have such respect for the fight of every single player and just stick with it for so long and for so many years, especially this last group. They got it done, so it's, oh my gosh, super exciting. We did, and that was a lot of the turmoil. I mean, we sat out from the 96 Olympics, not just to get, equal pay was always at the top of our mind, but little baby steps, and just to fight for those little things that meant so much, like a massage therapist or a nanny, or not having to connect 2 different flights to get to games, little things, and now it's equal across the board. It says so much, and I mean, oh my gosh, I almost started crying because it's so profound. And it means the waves and the ripples from this will continue in so many different areas. So, and that's the part I'm really excited about too. It's been so interesting, my journey back into the soccer world now, and here with the Orlando Pride, and walking in the locker room and in the offices. And we trained here as a national team for years. And I'm like, you have that? Oh my gosh, you have that? This is, oh my gosh. So it's so to see the progress, but then at the same time knowing it's not even near enough to where we are. We're where we need to be as a sport, but now the national team is setting that standard, and these players will continue to set the standard. And Amanda Cromwell is here. This new ownership for the Pride is here. They're doing that. So to me, beers are on me. It's so exciting. In part, yes, but I think in for it to sink in, they have to know the context of the journey, and maybe they're not aware, but maybe they are. But for Amanda Cromwell, she's been there since the beginning too, and so for the veteran U.S. players that are now entering the old lady stage, and for the players that were before that, that really received no recognition, were absolutely part of the journey and part of the path, and we're standing on their shoulders. It's huge. It's huge for this country because the market is there, the game is there, and people are wanting more from these organizations and from these players, and it's big business. So this decision says, here are the possibilities. Here's how it should be. Let's make this happen for everyone. What is my message? I think it's this game. It's a beautiful game, right? And that's why we're out here to play. We love the game, but part of our job, whether you like it or not, is to grow the game and to push forward and open doors for the game, but then for those people, those players that are coming behind you. So that it's something to celebrate, and it's so important, this decision. But there's a reason why it happened, and that's the part I want people to understand, is that there's a reason why it happened, is because other people were pushing for this for years, and so we must continue to do that.
I just heard it after training. We had video this morning, so I didn't know. She came over to tell me. I'm like, wait, what? What happened? So it's kind of like, hallelujah. It's about time those kind of feelings come up. But again, it's a lot of hard work behind the scenes with, I think, the players and the association, and everyone that came before. I think is super excited for everyone that's going to present and future players. It's just one of those things you're like, oh, you can breathe deeper a little bit. Part of that, and to the point of when there was a group that was going to sit out one camp, they were asking, like I was one of the players they were asking to come in at that time, and so we're asking our fellow teammates, like, what do you want us to do? Like, should we not? Because we're the ones that are trying to make the roster, and the ones that were sitting out were the superstars, so to speak, and ones that are, kind of could feel good about their spot on the roster. So it was really scary for some of us that we were like, what do we do in this situation? How do we fight with you, but also maintain our position to try to be on this team? And we were supported to go into that camp by those players and say, hey, this is a statement we are making, but go do your thing, and we'll support that as well. And there was a group of us, I don't remember which trip it was. I wanted to say Brazil maybe. But we were all on the same page as teammates and players in that, and trying to fight for more, like per diem at that point. I found some of my contract stuff from the 90s when I was moving out here, cleaning out some filing cabinets. I still had some of my U.S. soccer contract stuff. It'd be really interesting for people to see that. The international per diem, the domestic per diem, and how low those numbers were. It was shocking. So I think I'm too old for that. I think it's, I don't know what the terms are on that part. I don't think it would. It would be nice for some players that didn't reap the benefits of playing as far as sponsorships, and didn't reap the benefits of the financial gain, like a Michelle Akers, so to speak. So because I was never going to be a big money player and have these huge contracts come my way, but Michelle would have if she lived in a different time. So it was kind of like, it was like she was before her time. And she did have the first sponsorship with Umbro. But as far as we were looking at dollars and what she could have earned, like bonus money, like scoring goals, in my mind, she should be compensated for that. But again, I can stand up for what's right. I will applaud that, and I will stand with you. So big time. And I love that the players took initiative and had the confidence to stick with it. And for other sports too. It's not just about our sport. I think women's sports are going to look at this. Other countries internationally. This is big for global game with women. This is good for all the pro sports around the world. All the national teams, all the federations should be looking at this. And how do we emulate what's right? And again, it's you have to have TV deals. You have to have the sponsorships. You have to grow the game by promoting the game. A lot of the times they're like, oh, well, the men make more money in their ticket sales. It's like, well, is that because you charge more per ticket? It's simple math, right? Or how much marketing dollars do you put into that, trying to sell tickets for that men's game? So if you go back to, and you can even go talk about World Cups and how much less, like merchandising, they can make so much more money in merchandising and the TV deals. Like there's so much money left on the table, I think, in women's sports, and now it's being exposed and figured out. So it's a positive thing.
I'm really excited. I think I'm happy they got what they've been fighting for a really long time, and hopefully it's a trickle-down effect, and this is just the start, and it goes down to the leagues, and internationally they can see, what's being done, and, women can just start getting fair game in sports. Michelle Akers, I had a signed, picture of Michelle Akers in my room when I was a kid growing up, because she did a camp in Utah when I was a kid. So I always watched Dare to Dream, with my mom whenever, before a tournament or something. So I looked up to them a ton. It's always been, my motivation. I didn't even know that they had a field named after her over here. It's funny how it all has kind of come together. And each of our stories getting here, it's pretty bizarre. We all were like, oh, the universe works in crazy ways, but it really does. That Alini wanted to move back. Amanda was at UCF for X amount of years and came here, and Sam was exploring options, and Amanda asked her to come, and Megan Oyster's one of my best friends, and the fact that she's also on the team is just really, really. Week is always jitters, the ball's kind of moving crazy, everyone's overworking, and I think we're really defining how we want to play, how we want to defend, and it's just giving us a lot of confidence to keep building. I guess I'm embracing it in a way where, I'm very much about energy. We can make mistakes. Soccer's a game of mistakes. Also be a really boring game to watch. So as long as we can control our effort and our work rate, what we're putting into practice, and how we're reacting to things that do go our way or don't go our way, that's what I try to have influence on, and just maintaining that energy all through training, through my voice, through my actions, however I can help. I think being able to travel a lot and get different coaching has been amazing, and especially coming from France back to the US, I think was a challenge when I first got there. It's just a much more tactical, technical game. You have more time on the ball to make smarter decisions, which from the US I'm not used to. We're usually go, go, go. That's what people think about this league. So that definitely changed my perception of being more of a footballer, I think, and kind of slowing down a little bit more, and appreciating time on the ball, and not forcing things so much. So I think it added a lot to my game, being able to play under different coaches, different players. I've talked to a few of my friends on the team. This year things seem to be going great for them, so I'm really happy. And looking forward to seeing them and us getting a NWSL game under our belt before a Challenge Cup starts. You know what, it's funny, every year I actually look forward to coming to Orlando. It's my favorite stadium to play in, so the fact that I got picked up here, I'm stoked about. And the fact I get to play my old team, a lot of my old friends, is really exciting. And for our first home game, I think it's kind of perfect poetry. Every day I'm like, damn, I love Orlando, because never have I been on a team where practice field, lunch, treatment, gym, activation is all in the same spot, which it's really rare for an NWSL team. So I think that's just been great, and it makes it feel really professional. And you're not here for longer than you need to be, but everything you need is right here if you need to be here for a while. And it's just really refreshing to feel like a professional.